loops it down there, and wide open. Then the ball is knocked loose. The catch is made, and then the ball is knocked out of his hand.
From Sachin Tendulkar to Virat Kohli.
You are lifting weights?
Correct. Does it not look like it?
Oh, the ball is free. Scooped up by Stroud. Circles, throws, complete on a busted play. Hutchinson.
It's Justin Herbert.
Hey, Buzz Lightyear.
I love this shit. I'm gonna smile all day. Hey, cause it's fun when I whoop a man's ass.
Welcome back to the Bolts Podcast. I know it's been a couple of weeks. My name is Nick Cates. My pronouns are he and him.
My name is Aryan Ori, and my pronouns are guess what? Guess what? He, him.
Wow. You just telling me this now for the first time. Well, welcome back. We are coming to you from a slightly unique broadcasting arrangement today. I am, of course, in our regular podcasting lair that we dug with our bare hands with a plastic spoon, several plastic spoons. We did teamwork because it makes the dream work.
That's right, and I am currently abroad in India. Pretty long flight.
We're a global podcast. After
we
all,
are.
this is what the globalists want.
That's right. That's right. It's good. It's so nice to be watching. It feels so out of context to be watching football from India, because you would need to buy like a separate. You can watch it here, but it's difficult to get access to like on regular streaming services. So I VPN it up and just watch it on the regular platforms, and it's so out of context because obviously here it's like the game started at like 6:45 a.m. or 11:30 p.m. depending.
Gotcha.
So it's quite interesting.
It's not really great timing. I suppose one of the great missions of this podcast is one day you'll land in India and you'll be able to get the NFL on the extended sports package of basic cable.
That's right. Just like we'll be able to get on the MLC.
Exactly. And you'll be able to get the IPO. Well, you already can get the IPO on the extended sports package of basic cable in America.
Big time.
Which is helpful for us in trying to convince Americans to like cricket. I
was thinking this. I sent this to you, right? We have to play a table cricket.
That's true. We have to. John Boy did invent something good. I made a video criticizing John Boy's like fake cricket for American sports thingies, but his tabletop cricket looks sick. I think I have one of those mini bats too.
You do?
Yeah, I think so. I think my dad got me one of those mini bats when he was at Lord's. So it does say Lord's on it, which kind of blows. But, other than that, it is a mini bat. It should work perfectly. I think we just need like 3 straws, right? For the stumps.
Was it 3 straws and then the 1 straw for the bail?
Yeah.
They were pretty sturdy, bro.
I know. Well, he might be better at crafting than I am. I haven't crafted in a long time.
In a long time, at least. That's a flex that you've ever crafted at all. I've never crafted before.
You never, as a kid, like made crafts of any kind?
I think anything that I crafted would be called like it wouldn't be called crafting, it'd be called like destruction, something like that. Because I don't think like
did you ever play Minecraft?
No, I did not. See, so I didn't craft.
You really were not a crafting guy. Gotcha. Well, we can craft some stumps out of some straws. That can't be very hard. We'll go to Cane's. Be like, can we have 1 extra straw?
Can we have 4 extra straws?
Actually, I have a bunch of extra straws in my drawer. We can do it that way. But yeah,
I'm glad
that was a sweet invention of John Boy. You know what John Boy doesn't talk about though? Is football. He doesn't play table football, a sport which has existed in America and played among school children for probably 70 years. We haven't podcasted since the Jaguars game, which is honestly barely worth talking about because, number one, I just do want to say I completely predicted the outcome on this podcast that we were going to lose and that the Jaguars have the devil curse on us. Thus far, that has been proven extremely right. I don't know. Did I go through the rest of the season on this podcast, or did I go through it? I know I went through it on Big Nate's stream a bunch of weeks ago.
Yeah, you didn't do it. You didn't go through the rest of the season. Oh, we maybe briefly touched upon like which ones we. Yeah, we did. We went through like which ones we think will win, which ones we think will
I
lose.
said that I thought the only other one we were going to lose was to the Cowboys, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I believe.
So far I'm 100% right on that.
And I thought that we Eagles was a tough one to. The Eagles were a tough one to crack, but I think and they were. But I mean, again, I wasn't able to see the whole game, but from I've seen the 20-minute recap, and we were in the lead for pretty much the entire game until we did a fourth quarter chokey, and then we did an overtime
Win,
not choke
which is huge.
time win. Yeah,
And like that's the biggest thing I think between last year's team and this year's team. As much as the defense has been less consistent and the offense has kind of been all over the map, I think that in crunch time against good teams, like most of the dumb bullshit has been against bad teams.
yes,
Or against teams that were like super hot. But
yes.
when we've played good teams, by and large, we've played really, really well. We've risen to the occasion every single time. We need to do that
Yes.
again this coming week. But as a like kind of potential consolation, if we win, I think we would absolutely end the Chiefs for this season because they would be at 6-9 and couldn't have a winning record, I believe. So, or maybe it would just be 6-8, but whatever.
They'd definitely be out of playoff contention, or at least like statistically negligible
Yeah.
chance at the playoffs,
So
right? Which is
that
just
would
as
be
important.
that would be huge, and especially beating both the Chiefs were Super Bowl champions, weren't they? Ew, disgusting. Beating both Super
Both
Bowl
Super Bowl
teams from
teams.
last year, or I
Yeah.
guess each of the last two champions in consecutive weeks, I think would be huge. Even as most people will say they're both playing terribly this year, the Chiefs definitely more so than the Eagles because the Eagles are still definitely going to go to the playoffs, I think.
The other thing I'm worried about with the Chiefs game is that obviously we're playing in Arrowhead.
Yeah.
So I mean, the Eagles are playing at SoFi, which I mean hasn't given us that level of home advantage yet.
I was going to say, we've gotten BTA'd a couple times in SoFi.
Yeah.
I think we only lost once. Did we lose? We lost twice at SoFi, twice on the road.
Yeah, this season we've lost to the Jaguars and
the Giants on the road.
Giants on the road. That's two. And then who did we lose? Who else did we
The
lose to?
Commies and the Colts.
It's crazy.
And
That
those
is
were
crazy.
at home. The Chiefs also lost at home last week.
Okay. Who did they lose to? They played the Texans.
Yeah, which is the one game that I predicted us to win that has me a little worried. But I should just stay with my predictions because they've been all right so far. Yeah, the Texans beat the Chiefs 20-10. I think the Chiefs just the vibes are so bad, and we always play them close. Worst case scenario.
Yes.
I think we could really unload on the Chiefs, especially on their offensive line, because it's not as good as Philly's. It's not as good as Philly's, and it's banged up as hell. And I don't know. I mean, their defensive line had trouble dealing with our offensive line in the first game of the season. Granted, we had Joe Alt in our first game of the season.
Line, yeah.
But in the run game, I actually think our run blocking is better than it was the first game of the season, and that could be a huge problem for the Chiefs because Omarion had a great game. That's one of the things I had on the agenda is Omarion, and I actually put out a video about this today. Bolts Cricket Podcast on TikTok. By the way, I know sometimes forget to podcast for a couple of days or we go on vacation. That may be happening the other way around next week, or we may both be on vacation because I'm going to the Central Coast. But we are always podcasting and creating content on the Bolts Cricket Podcast, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube channel. So go subscribe to us there. We're having a lot of fun over there. But yeah, Omarion is back. He's showing some great athleticism. He looks better than ever, which is really good to see after he came back from an injury. And I think with the newfound run blocking that we're seeing from the offensive line, I actually think that's the biggest impact we've had from Trevor Penning because he is actually a very good run blocker.
Right.
So he's been able to clear the way, and he's also been able to make those jumbo formations that Greg Roman is so addicted to, where you can always tell those on the broadcast because Trevor Penning will report as eligible. They'll say 64 reports as eligible. We've seen this play be run a bunch of times over the past couple of years, and finally last week this formation started paying off for the Chargers, and I was like, finally we have linemen that can make this damn thing work, because I know that Greg Roman's stubborn ass was not going to stop calling it, so at least it will get us some yards.
Right. I mean, we had Omarion Hampton had 13 carries for 56 yards. Kimani Vidal had 14 carries for 44 yards. So 100 yards of 100 rushing yards from the two of them.
But
And then
Omarion had
66 yards from Herbert.
He broke 3 runs for more than 10 yards. Like he had an 11, a 15, and an 18-yard run during this game. And that's the biggest thing I want to see from him is his ability to break away and get to the second level, and he did that multiple times. He's going to have an easier job doing that against the Chiefs.
Yes.
Because the Eagles have a better defense. They have, I think, on the whole, largely a better offense. I think, unfortunately, I think the Eagles' biggest problem in this game was their quarterback. Jalen Hurts was missing a lot of throws.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, the other thing about the Chiefs is that the Chiefs don't have the confidence the Eagles have.
No.
You know, with the 8-4 record, now the 8-5 record. And the Chiefs have nothing really to play. Well, I guess still technically they have a little bit to play for if they somehow go on a crazy miraculous streak and win every single game from here on. They have a chance. But they, on the whole, they kind of had nothing to play for. They kind of look like a beat down team. Mahomes, he still has it, but he's not again, like what I've been thinking about with the Chargers, that you see this incredible level of zeal and enthusiasm to find ways to get those games into the pocket, like from difficult positions or from close call positions.
Kind of in the same way the Chiefs have done in years past.
Exactly. So I don't see that from the Chiefs this year. Especially, I think right after that first loss, in fact, in Brazil, they were like, they just looked like they just didn't have it. Their receiving has been like, they haven't been able to move the ball.
Well, a lot was made of Rashee Rice coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like he's done jack shit. It feels like they're losing just as many games with him back as they did with him out.
Yep.
So I also think that there's kind of a personnel element to this, which is when
element?
Nice. Which is that when you construct a football team, all of these teams are built to beat the other teams in their division, and specifically the best team in their division. And obviously, when this year's Chargers team was put together, the best team in our division was the Chiefs. And I think if there's any team we're likely to match up well against, it's the Chiefs for that reason. And I think that we're even with the offensive line issues, and people will say the offensive line, like Chris Jones has found some of his form again, and he's playing really well, and you got to account for him. Fine, we know as well as anybody that you have to account for Chris Jones. But I just think that with where this Chargers team is right now in terms of confidence, where this Chiefs team is right now, where my prediction was, and how right those have been, and I know a lot of these aren't empirical reasons, but I could give you the last matchup against the Chiefs, and I don't know. It just this feels like a game that we can win. We can maybe even win by 2 scores like the Texans did.
Yeah. It gives me a lot of hope. I mean, again, I don't want to. The record is right now 6-7. If we do beat them, it will be. It will be.
Of course,
6-8.
Satan's team is 6-7. Like that's for all the children. If for any children that might be listening to this podcast that are into that, take that association between Satan and 6-7 seriously. But not the good kind of Satan, like the crappy Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes kind of Satan, the Satan that signed a deal this year with Bo Nix. Oh,
that's hilarious. Oh my god. But yeah, their record is 6 wins and 7 losses, and if they do lose this next game, they will be 6-8. And I don't want to be one of those guys who's like, man, we really have a good shot at doing this. I'm expecting a dub, because I was expecting the dub against the Jaguars the way we were playing, and it's almost like I don't want.
The Jags are the Jags. Like the Jags give us that BTA every time.
It's tough to bring this comparison in because I don't know how many people will get it, but you'll definitely get it. It's like no matter how well KKR season is going, we will lose to Mumbai. Mumbai is like
Well, how about
no matter how bad Mumbai's season is going, they will beat us.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same thing with the Jags right now, at least.
But we get them once
always
every 3 years. It's like if they brought the CLT20 and you couldn't beat like the Perth Scorchers or something like that.
Yeah, that's fair.
You played them like
That's fair.
Like once every 3 years, you went to Perth, and you were all out for like 50 runs, and you're like, "This fucking sucks, mate."
Yeah, you're right. The Chiefs are kind of more of the. They annoy me because it's never a knockdown drag out. You know.
Well, they
always
usually do their stupid,
Hail Mary
accountant, style of football, where they like arbitrage you into defeat. But they weren't able to do that this year, and they haven't been able to do that to a lot of teams this year. So I'm feeling good. Also, Harrison Butker is back to missing kicks again.
God, he sucks.
God, he's fucking trash in every way. Not just he's also a trash person. There's lots of kickers who have been having bad seasons in the NFL, but none of them are as trash people as Harrison Butker.
Do you want to talk about your experience at the stadium?
Yeah, well, I have a couple experiences at the stadium because I was at the Raiders game too, and I feel like that's also relevant. Which it was my second Raiders-Chargers game, certainly my cheapest Raiders-Chargers game because all the Raiders fans sold their tickets.
How much was it?
Oh, I think I paid like $60 or $70. I sat in 305, got a single ticket.
6-7.
Oh my, Satan. Not in Chiefs week, bro. Seriously? You know why they have red uniforms.
So that was pretty cheap. Damn, I missed a really cheap game. That's crazy.
Yeah, the Eagles game wasn't cheap. But it was so Chargers were pretty dominant in this game, and the Raiders fans, like during the one drive when the Raiders ended up scoring a touchdown, the fans just got so obnoxious, and you could tell that. Forgive me, but the combined IQ level among the Raiders fans was not extremely high.
Also, the touchdowns come so rarely for them that they have to go so insane about.
No, but they were making fun of. That's the thing. They were making fun of us. They were using that opportunity to try and make fun of us, and it's like you can't be going at. I kind of try not to go at the other team ever, but you really can't be going
at the time.
Oh yeah, they were losing like the whole damn game, and they were just like literally the guy behind me kept going because at Chargers games you say no charge because that's what the team's named after. So the guy behind us keeps going no Raiders, and then like Geno Smith throws a fucking interception, and it's like no Raiders.
Oh my god. That's not even clever, bro. It's not even intelligent.
Dude, none of them probably even took the SATs because they couldn't get the letters S-A and T together to fucking apply for the booklet that lets you take the exam. So I don't know what to say. And so with the Eagles game, the funniest thing was even walking in, I had Eagles fans who were like, "You're a brave man, dude, coming here by yourself, like wearing all that Chargers gear." I apologize for anybody in green who might who's gonna, give you shit tonight. And I'm like, are you guys kidding me? I was here last week. Like
dude, I was at also. This is just a separate thing. I don't think I ever told you about. I was wearing this jersey to Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah.
And at Universal Studios. And this guy comes to me, "Oh, you're a Chargers fan?" And he was with 6 other guys, and I was with three of my friends, none of whom are football fans.
Yeah,
including my girlfriend. And I go, yeah. Oh, you like Herbert? Yeah. Well, he fucking sucks. And everybody was like, "What?" They found it so funny.
Are they Raiders fans?
I don't even. They look like Raiders fans.
They probably were. If they thought that was funny,
Yeah.
if they're dumb enough to think that's funny, they're probably Raiders fans. You could tell by the IQ because. Like, the Eagles fans, number one, I think they get an unfairly bad rap. Actually, about the Raiders game, one last thing I will say. There weren't any fights, but there was one, at least that I saw, but there was one brewing in the section over from me. There were 3 guys, I think they were San Diego guys, because a couple of them had Padres hats on, and they were going after a Raiders fan who just, like, kept yelling back at them. And I'm like, why are you doing it? Like, it isn't even your home stadium. Like, you're getting BTA'd. Like, just go to the exits like the rest of your fucking fair weather fan base. But
no.
no, it's clearly he was slow. Maybe he was out on parole or something. I don't know. It's the Raiders. You kind of have to. Well, dude, see, this is why I feel like we as a Chargers fan base, when we get into fights, it's only with other Chargers fans and consensually. Because if we ever get into a non-consensual, you remember that happened with Dean Thanos and the guy on Twitter. I'm pretty sure we sent that in the group chat. That's the only type of fight you get with Chargers fans, because if we get into a non-consensual
Did you
fight...
say Dean Thanos?
Yeah, he's a guy on Twitter. He calls himself Dean Thanos.
That's so funny. I totally forgot his username.
And he got in an actual fist fight with a guy whose profile picture is Adrian Wojnarowski, the NBA reporter, but with his face taken out and Justin Herbert's face put in. So it's like Justin Herbert, but he has Woj's hairdo. It's really weird. Anyway, they met at a restaurant in Burbank and had like a consensual fist fight after week 1. It's crazy. Chargers. But we're never going to get into a non-consensual fist fight, because if we did, we could get sent into the California State prison system, and it's full of Raiders fans. And like, those are incidentally like exactly the type of Raiders fans who will slug you in the mouth immediately after finding out that you're a Chargers fan.
Anyway, the Eagles game. I give you a nice segue now. So I see, as for the stats, Jalen was only sacked once, right?
Yeah.
But I think what really tells the story of how much pressure was on him was the 4 interceptions. 4 interceptions that he threw, and the 5th invalidated interception.
Well, and I also think there was just a lot of really good play from our defense in terms of keeping balls alive. That's been a recurring trend, because Dante Jackson made a really good play on a ball in the Raiders game there where he tipped it up, and Tony Jefferson ended up getting an interception in much the same way that he did to end the Eagles game. That's a play that the Chargers have continuously been making, and it's not an easy one, and it's not really Jalen Hurts' fault, but it's just a testament to this secondary that they're able to stay so focused and make such big plays. It's absolutely a better unit than last year, even if they've had a couple of howlers in terms of coverage against a couple of these teams.
I mean, that's what I've been telling you, that it seems like they're trying to figure out ways to make these plays.
Yeah.
Like it's as opposed to just giving your 80-90%, there is above and beyond kind of feel to this team.
Yeah.
And that's why we're able to keep those plays alive and pull these rabbits out of hats.
Well, and it seems like everybody's setting an example for everybody else. Like, we saw Cam Hart emerge and really have a massive game this week. He made 2 or 3 great plays, especially being matched up one-on-one against A.J. Brown. They kept going at him. And yes, A.J. Brown dropped a bunch of passes, but Cam Hart also broke up a bunch of passes that were targeted at A.J. Brown. One-on-one, left on an island. And that really showed me up, because I said, like, Jesse Minter isn't going to be stupid and leave A.J. Brown one-on-one. He was fucking doing it all night. And,
you know what? But he knew.
Yeah, he knew Cam Hart could hold up, and by and large, Cam Hart hung. And maybe he also knew that A.J. Brown was going to drop the same number of passes as people were expecting Quentin Johnston to drop.
That's right.
I don't even know if he's ever dropped 3, like, massive passes in a game like that. If he did, people would be all over him in ways that they are not all over A.J. Brown. But
I know. It is also so crazy to me that we barely used our receivers. It just wasn't one of those. It wasn't those throw-friendly games. It was a very run-heavy game. I mean, literally, if we look at our top, let's say 5 receivers, Kimani Vidal, 1 reception for 60 yards, that big long pass. And then Keenan, 3 for 22. Trey Harris, 1 for 18. Ladd, 1 for 12. And then Omarion, 2 for 11. And then Quentin Johnston, 2 for 8. I mean, QJ's really not seen a lot of passes.
Greg Roman did QJ so dirty. He basically sent him on a naked screen pass with nobody blocking for him, and they just threw him the ball. And he's just sitting there like a sitting duck in the backfield. And like QJ's great with the ball in his hands, but when you have a guy already running at you at full speed and he's like 2 feet away from you by the time you catch the ball, there just isn't that much you can do. So I wasn't happy that they called like a completely naked screen like that. That got sniffed out way too easily. And yeah, I've been saying this for quite a while. I've had a lot of our other fellow Chargers creators have been saying this as well, and it's really frustrating that Greg Roman will not implement a timing or quick passing game at all. We have these plays in our playbook. We have a lot of outs and crossers and stuff like that, and when we call them, they fucking work all the time, but they just haven't been getting called enough. We only called them, like, there were 9 passing plays in the Eagles game that Justin got rid of the ball in less than 2.5 seconds compared to 24 where he got rid of the ball in more than 2.5 seconds. We gotta, at the very least, even that out and and have more with quick passes, because that's the best way we can protect Justin Herbert, right?
You know, this is one of the things. This is one of the things that I will say though. He likes to hold on to the ball because he likes to figure out. He himself likes to as well. He likes to hold on to the ball. He likes to, you know, he sees pressure coming. He'll move around in the pocket, especially now this year. But he likes to look for opportunities to go further. I don't think he's a huge fan of the short pass game either. I think that's part of the reason why Greg Roman is designing these plays.
Yeah, and it's frustrating because he knows how good he is. The problem is he will have much bigger windows to make the types of deep passes and, you know, big time highlight plays that he wants to if the threat of the quick game is consistently used. And if he takes what the defense gives him, the defense is always giving you something, and he's a smart enough quarterback to figure that out. Sometimes even getting 4 yards out of a pass play is a win in a lot of situations. Yeah. It'll help put you ahead of the sticks. It'll give you a lot of flexibility in play calling. We can get those plays. We can get those plays just by looking at the coverage. And
the other thing is, like, the 10 carries for 66 yards that he had, those are kind of subbing right now, I think, for the short pass game. Like when he runs out of time,
and it's like more dangerous for him, and that's frustrating. He doesn't need to do that. He can incorporate more of the quick passing game, and it's going to open up the running game for him more too.
Yes.
I swear we will start BTAing teams out of nowhere. If we implement this against the Chiefs, we're going to score like 40 points on them, and it's going to be insane. And, like, you know, I don't know. Chiefsaholic is going to break out of prison and throw himself off the upper deck at Arrowhead. I'll probably bleep that. But
that's the thing, right? Some quarterbacks are just very skilled at just getting rid of the ball, you know, and then letting those guys run the ball, you know, once they've gotten rid of it. And those guys make, you know, 3-yard plays, 12, 13, 14-yard plays sometimes. And we're not even giving ourselves the opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
And given how good our running talent is, I think now the short pass game will definitely be more effective than it has been even, you know, 2 years ago.
Yeah. Well, and that was the thing, is when we had kind of a stick routes, like curl routes type passing game under Joe Lombardi, that was all we had. That and, like, you know, check downs to Eckler. Right. And Eckler, because Eckler wasn't really an every down bell cow type running back. He was kind of, well, Kamani Vidal, they used him as kind of an every down, but he's kind of like more what we thought Kamani was coming out of college. And Eckler, you know, he wasn't somebody who was going to be, you know, necessarily a punishing runner inside like you need in a Greg Roman offense. So, yeah, I'm hoping that they won't let that experience of several years ago with so many things different, you know, cloud or be the enemy of what could be. And again, it's calling it 5 extra times per game will make a massive difference. It's, you know, we're not talking about overhauling an entire game plan. And, you know, I don't want this to take away from the strength of the run blocking, which, as much as you might think that those stats were unimpressive, they were like the run game. Number one, it gained over 100 yards between everybody. And number two, it did the job in key moments, and it was effective on first down and in ways that, you know, we've been stuffed so many damn times over the past couple of years, and it was not getting consistently stuffed by, you know, still a very strong defensive line, even without Jalen Carter. So
I mean, what do you do in a game but for both teams there's 5 interceptions put together? Passes are being batted out of the air, things aren't happening, right? That's kind of what you do. And I want to say this, I did watch the Patriots Giants game, and this is one thing that Drake May can do really, really well is keep you guessing, the play calling is obviously amazing, and to top that off, he's got this amazing ability to make you have no idea what he's about to do, which of course is part of the play calling, and then part of the fact that he's just very good at what he does. And I really do think if you can be dynamic, if you can really keep people guessing, because again with the Chargers, as you said, you can see it from a mile away when we're about to run, when we're about to, and you don't see any short passing. So I think if we introduce a little dynamism into our play calling, it will make a huge difference. Not to say that we're having a horrible season or anything, but it's just
Well, and you saw that with Greg Roman using read options, and this is sort of what I was pointing out in terms of Justin being too good. I would say Drake May is somebody who I would say is almost as good, like in terms of pure quarterbacking skill, in terms of ability to make throws and do crazy shit as a quarterback. He's just behind Justin Herbert. But because he can't make some of those like mind-nuking throws that Justin Herbert knows he can make, he isn't necessarily trying for those all the damn time, and he makes a lot more sensible throws. Combine that with the fact that he has play calling that is much more sensible and much more geared towards, subterfuge, and actually has a plan play to play more than just we're going to, we have big guys going to knock you over and run the ball past you.
Yeah.
It's, it really does help. I would also point out in Justin Herbert's defense that if Justin Herbert had Drake May's schedule this year, we'd probably already have 12 wins. So
I mean, I will never get over the fact that we should have at least 10 wins.
Yeah.
At least 11 wins right now. I'm very upset that we lost. I was talking to somebody on the elevator in the building that I live in, and he was like, I knew we were going to lose because we were on the road.
Yep.
These guys cannot play on the road in New York.
The road 10 a.m. games
difference
are nasty. Yeah. I know we have that in Kansas City, but it's not the same. The flight isn't as long.
Yeah.
It's half as long. It's half as far. Even if it's the same distance.
Yeah. Yeah, he knew it was going to happen. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I was like, man. I mean, hey, it's a win. It's a win for the boys, even if it's a loss for the boys for me.
That's true. That's true.
But it still was a loss. I felt bad. I was watching the game and I couldn't believe that we lost it. It was ridiculous. But yeah, the Giants and the Commanders.
Yeah, those. Well, we hit the negative lottery of having to actually play against Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
With not very much on tape from this year because he'd been injured in the weeks before, and he just kind of cooked us. And our run defense was nowhere near. We honestly, that's another underrated part of our game from this week is other than one fake tush push, which well played to the Eagles on that one. That was a good play call. We basically shut down Saquon. He did not do much. He did not get up to much, and that's again. Should be huge confidence. Because this is the Chargers, we couldn't do that against Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. But that's the Chargers for you, right?
Yeah. I guess in a way they do keep us guessing.
Exactly.
Though not the way that we want.
Exactly. Not in the way that we want. I said on the podcast, I think it was the last podcast, that Bradley Bozeman is Glenn. And Bradley Bozeman really is Glenn because we had Bradley's Comet came through for the Raiders game, and he actually played decently well, and then right back, really, really very, very Glenn. I wonder, if there's, a halcyon bar, if, Bradley Bozeman will ever go on vacation, and he'll be in Melbourne, Australia, and Glenn Maxwell will walk in, and they can just stink up the place together. You have to wonder about things like that. Oh, one last thing. We talked about this just before hitting record. The hands. Justin Herbert broke his hand, his left hand, his non-throwing hand, while scrambling against the Raiders. And they taped it up to make it look all big and gigantic, which, for me, was as fitting of a thing as could possibly happen on Eagles Week. Because, Ariane, I don't know if you've seen a little show called It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but one of the great moments of that show, when Charlie's uncle, Jack Kelly, the attorney, wears fake hands to court so that he won't be embarrassed about the size of his hands. Dude, Justin Herbert's left hand was the fucking Uncle Jack Kelly hands, and he beat the Philadelphia Eagles with Uncle Jack Kelly hands. This is why we're Chargers fans, guys.
We're 2 for 2 with the Jack Kelly hands, bro. I'm telling you, it never fails.
It's so good. The Jack Kelly hands, it's our good luck charm.
Novelty hands will never lose you anything in life. That is crazy.
Do you want to talk about cricket?
Yeah, let's talk about
that
cricket.
Was a hell of a segue right there.
That was nice.
Go, Chargers, go! Chargers, go! Go, go, go!
I think we can start with, we last potted before this was official, but CSK, those dumb bastards, have actually done it. They have traded Ravindra Jadeja to Rajasthan Royals for Sanju Samson. Like, am I just like, is there something in the water here in LA? Like, does this make sense to folks in India, or is everybody in India also just baffled that this fucking happened?
I think it doesn't make sense to anybody. Yeah, it definitely doesn't
anybody
make sense
on the face of the earth. I guess maybe I could try taking a vacation to Mars with Elon Musk and seeing if... I don't want to take a vacation to Mars with Elon Musk. It would fucking suck. See if the Martians... But to go to Mars, now I do have a reason, which is to see if the Martians see it differently and think that CSK... I mean...
They might enjoy it because they want us to fail.
I guess Mars is a...
But you know who doesn't want...
Mars is a pinker planet than Earth, so they might be Rajasthan supporters. On account of that, right? They might be like, we're glad that this happened.
That was so bad that it was good.
Well, right? I mean, if your planet is kind of the color of Rajasthan Royals, more so than Earth, right?
You know what? Perhaps I was gonna say this. Perhaps the reason, I think the reason that Jadeja was good or they moved Jadeja to Rajasthan is because just like Sanju Samson, Jadeja also had a problem with the CSK, you know. So
but he'd been there for long, and he done so much there. Like, what the hell happened?
I think every cricketer's aspiration is to be the captain of their franchise. It just adds a level of prestige to your career that, you know, is unparalleled. And in 2022, when he was unceremoniously removed from that position, I think that's something you don't really come back from. You know, same thing with like Hardik Pandya. I don't think he ever really came back from getting nixed, you know, in the auction. And then he decided, I'm only going to come back if you give me the captaincy and you don't question me ever about anything. You know, and I think that's the perfect revenge, so to speak.
Well,
but with Jadeja,
he earned his way back with everything. Like, it's kind of this is kind of an insane comparison, but it kind of reminds me of Kawhi Leonard with the Raptors when he got traded there and he won the championship and he was in free agency and he could demand whatever the fuck he wanted to, and he ended up getting Paul George and a no-show job, which is honestly not that different from what Hardik Pandya got from Mumbai Indians.
That's right.
I mean, he definitely got a no-show job, and he probably got better players than Paul. I mean, Rohit Sharma's better than Paul George, I think, in cricket's basketball terms.
He didn't have to fight for any players that he needed because they're already all there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, Jadeja, okay, I think the other thing is that, so he was unceremoniously removed in 2022.
He'll be captain in Rajasthan, right? He's got to be.
No.
You don't think so?
I think it's going to be Jaiswal. And I think that's fair. I don't think you want to regress and pick somebody who's 36 years old to be your captain. I think you want to kind of usher in the new era of cricket with your franchise, and let's just be Jaiswal as in 20.
I'm like, you give Jaddu a couple of years, and then you bring in Jaiswal, and then if his brain or shoulders don't explode before then, you give it to Vaibhav Suryavanshi in 15 years. 15 years when Vaibhav Suryavanshi is 33 years old. Go ahead and do the math on that one.
and that's if we're taking the liberal estimate of how old he is. Right?
Yeah. I don't think he's 19. That's assuming he's 18. Being that he
Vaibhav
was
Suryavanshi
17 last year.
This is assuming this is a controversial opinion what you're saying here, supposedly. Right? Supposedly he's 14 years old.
How about a silver lining? How about this is a silver lining? If he was 17 before if he was 17 during last year's IPL, then the BCCI doesn't have to say that it auctioned off a 13-year-old, which it technically does have to say now, because that did fucking happen.
Yeah, that's right.
According to them, or according to Vaibhav
17-year-old is not that much better when it comes to auctioning off people.
Which honestly, yeah, with the IPL auction coming up, we could talk about the amazing optics of auctioning off human beings in the year of our Lord 2025. Although that's not really what it is, and calling it an auction makes because like all the auction is like live free agency.
Yes,
but
they should call it live
because it's an auction. They call it an auction. It looks so bad.
They're trying to make it. That's the same thing, right? The pomp and circumstance of like they're trying to make it a big like a party almost, of like where the whole country is gonna watch as the bidding happens, right? They're trying to make it this big thing, celebration almost. And then of course it's not good. What was I gonna say? The Jadeja thing. So he the other thing I think people don't like is playing under the shadow of MS Dhoni when he's not the captain, but he's really still the captain.
Yeah.
And I don't think anything happens without his approval. I think he probably would have said, I'm good to remove Jadeja. He doesn't really like me anymore. Doesn't really like CSK anymore. He's kind of just been playing to play.
Yeah.
I mean, also, bro, Dhoni was like sometimes coming ahead of Jadeja, sometimes coming behind Jadeja in the batting order. I mean, he was like, and Jadeja probably doesn't like when he comes out to bat and people are saying Dhoni, Dhoni, Dhoni. Yeah. It's the worst. It's like the most annoying feeling in the world, So I think it's the best move for him. I think it was really more about him and the fact that Sanju Samson wasn't enjoying his time at Rajasthan Royals. I think it was more about the players. If they didn't enjoy it, let's get them out of here. Let's swap it up.
It's a great move for Rajasthan Royals being able to bring in a player like him to mentor what is like a really, really young core. Even if it isn't as young as it may claim to be, it's still a very young core.
God.
I'm sorry, man. Like, it's one of the most precedented things in the history of cricket. It's actually one of the most precedented things in the history of sports. There was a guy who was the number 2 starter for the Cleveland baseball team for fucking years under a fake name and a fake birthday. Like,
God. You're right. I mean, people claim that Shahid Afridi is not as young as he says he is. The Shaheen Afridi isn't as young as he says he is. It is very normal in sports to lower your age a little bit.
It's happened in soccer. Whatever. Is it Bad News Bears or Benchwarmers where the guy has like the paper note? He's like a 21-year-old guy and it says, I am 12 on it. Like, that's what fucking Vaibhav Suryavanshi brings in every time he goes to the damn crease.
That's it. I mean, this is, again, also a great deal for Rajasthan because since Jadeja took a 4 crore pay cut, that meant that they bought Sam Curran for 2.4 crore and Donovan Ferreira from the Delhi Capitals for 1 crore.
Yeah.
And they still profited 60 lakhs from that deal.
Yeah, and they'll get Sam Curran might be decent for Rajasthan. He was all right for CSK.
Might be decent.
Garbage. I mean, he's a garbage cricketer, but whatever. He'll play well against Punjab Kings, and that's useful for Rajasthan because they usually beat us, so he can continue that. He always plays well against Punjab Kings, and he always plays like shit for Punjab Kings. Auction. Who you got? KKR bidding on. Because you guys have an actual fucking purse.
Highest purse for the entire auction. Do you know which team that is?
Is it KKR?
Big time.
Yeah.
64.3 crores of purse remaining.
You released Venki Iyer.
Yes, we released and Venki Iyer, Andre Russell, and Sunil Narayan.
Sonny and? I thought it was just Andre Russell.
I think you're right. It was Andre Russell. Sorry. Andre Russell and
Andre
Venki
Russell
Iyer.
retired from the IPL.
Oh, he's joining KKR's backroom staff. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so Andre Russell's gone ski, and we've got, okay, I have a feeling we might rebid on Venkatesh Iyer for a lower price.
Yeah.
But I don't think we would be very sad if he if somebody else paid 11 crores for him, like you can have him, bro.
Yeah.
I have a feeling we will bid on Rachin Ravindra.
Fraser McGurk, you think you guys would be in on Fraser McGurk? Think you guys are gonna get McGurked?
We won't. I don't think we'll get him. I don't know. We do have a tendency to overspend on people who don't deliver.
You think Cameron Green?
No, I do think we will go for Fraser McGurk because we need an opener. Because we also released Ramanullah Gurbaz.
I saw that. I wonder if we won't bid on a certain South African wicketkeeper because Josh Inglis has gone from PBKS because he can only play 25% of the tournament. I wonder if we may or may not, be bidding on a certain South African wicketkeeper whom I hardly know.
He's very good in India, so I think he's
except for KKR and whoever he was with before, and like the last couple teams.
Mumbai?
I don't think he was very good with Mumbai either. Yeah. Rajasthan, I don't think he's very good. He's quickly becoming. If he goes to Punjab, that might be because he hasn't played for GT, but he has played for LSG. So
right.
He would be like 9 out of 10. It would be like, or 8 out of 10 because it would be CSK and GT. I think would be the only two teams that he hasn't played for. And Ravi Bishnoi.
You think we're gonna? I don't think we're gonna.
I wonder if we will go for him as a
you
former
might go
Punjab
for him.
king. Although, do we really need another spinner? Although it would be sick to have him in jail.
Yes, but 2 leg spinners.
And like
You're right,
specialist leg spinners, like you are not getting any runs out of either one of those guys.
Exactly. So I don't think so. We have Arun Chakravarti and Sunil Narayan.
What do you think about Cameron Green?
Yeah, I think we're gonna end up bidding for him because 63 crores in the pocket. I think it's gonna be Cameron Green, Fraser McGurk, maybe even Quinton de Kock, Venkatesh Iyer. That's 4 people. Even if we bid 15 crores on each mofo, that's still 3 crores left in the purse.
Wow, there's some interesting people. Do you think anybody's gonna say fuck it and bid on Ben Duckett?
Yeah, unfortunately, I do think so.
That's insane, man.
Maybe Devon Conway, David Miller would be. Oh, he was released by
by GT. Yeah, David Miller. I would love to see Punjab Kings bid for David Miller. Oh, there's
Rachin Ravindra, David Miller.
Yeah, Rachin Ravindra I'd love to see, but I don't think we're gonna get him. I think he's probably gonna go for a decent amount of money.
You think so?
Yeah. Spencer Johnson at 1.5 crores. That's pretty funny. That he thinks that
he's gonna go unsold, and he's gonna be sad.
I feel like he's trying to go unsold at that price, especially considering how many good players there are at 1 crore. There's a ton of really, really good players that are 1 crore. Akash Deep. Akash Deep. He only costs 1 crore. Akash Deep.
I don't think I would bid on Johnny Bairstow for 1 crore though.
I don't know if I would either. But you know who I might bid on for 75 lakhs is a man who might say, I think you should leave Tim Robinson in New Zealand.
Tim Robinson?
Tim Robinson. We have a cricketer named Tim Robinson. That's fucking huge.
Billy Stanlake. That's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Who?
Billy Stanlake?
Billy Stanlake. Wow. We can see how he does in the Big Bash. I know him from. Is he playing for the? He's really tall, right? He's like 6'9". He's like Marco Janssen height. Could play the 3.
He's in the auction for 75 lakh base price.
How many lakhs per inch? That's not very many.
40, 60, 72. 72 plus 9 is 81. So less than
a lakh per inch. That's just good. That's just a good deal in terms of like, value for money right there.
Mm-hmm.
You just get a lot of man for not a lot of price.
Meanwhile, Jadeja's 14 crores, and I think he's like 5'7".
Damn. But I mean, he does so much with that 5'7".
That's right.
And Sanju Samson is even smaller. So.
Oh, but not only is he smaller, he's less efficacious. So, he's not worth his money.
I can't believe it. We should do the India South Africa Test Series, and then we'll do the other Test Series that's less important.
Yes. Oh, That's so funny. The India South Africa Test series. I don't think India took it very seriously. It was a poor display of selection. It was a poor display of mainly batting. I mean, and also bowling. I think honestly, it was just like, first of all, the first pitch that they played on, which was Eden Gardens, was people were calling it just one of the worst pitches ever created. South Africa scored 159 and 153 in both innings. India's second innings target was 124, which they could not chase.
That's
And then in the second test match, it was, we gave away 489 and 260 for 5, and they declared, and we couldn't even mount any scores past 250.
Yeah,
So
that was the match with the Jaiswal over too.
Yes, the second test match.
Yeah.
It was really horrible to watch, because I did watch the second test match, like 2 days of the second test match. And it was the batting, first of all, the bowling, it seemed like we knew we wouldn't get them all out. And secondly, the batting was just, we were throwing our wickets away. And this is one of the things I wanted to talk about, which is that the BCCI is too much of a money grab. We need to stop playing and give these athletes some time off. I mean, and then you ask yourselves why Bumrah can't play every game in the World Cup or in the Test series. Is because you're working him too damn hard. I mean, Shubman Gill was injured. You're getting all these injuries happening. There's a reason. Arshdeep would be able to play all 3 formats if you just let everybody rest for a little bit.
Yeah.
Instead, you're having to make him a specialist ODI T20 bowler, a T20 bowler rather.
Yeah.
When you could so easily use him in all 3 formats, because he would probably be great with the red ball, but you'll never know.
Yeah. Just because, there's just not enough time. Do you think that some of that just comes from the amount of power that they have, the amount of extra power that the BCCI has over the top Indian players compared to, like, say, the Australian Cricket Australia or the ECB or any other cricket federation has over their players?
I think for sure, because if you asked Rohit Sharma what he'd rather do, play an ODI series against South Africa or play the Big Bash, I think he'd want to play the Big Bash.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd want to play, waste his time playing against South Africa for an ODI series that doesn't matter and never will.
And in the Big Bash, you can play like half the matches and spend the other half of the matches in the Gold Coast.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. You get a trip to Australia, you get paid $200K or whatever it is. It's not, crazy money like they see in the IPL, but it's still definitely more intriguing for them than doing the same
walk around
nonsense.
Surface Paradise, and they'll be like, Rohit Sharma! Oh, it's Rohit Sharma!
Exactly. So I mean, I would adopt the Andre Russell / Sunil Narayan model, and I would be a franchise cricketer only. I would play the MLC. I play the Big Bash. I wouldn't play the 10 because screw that.
Yeah, fuck the 10s.
I would play.
And you know what?
IPL.
I know we've covered it on this podcast before, but fuck the ILT20 because fuck Gulf Oil States. Just leaving that there.
ILT20? What is that?
That's
what
is that exactly? You don't even have to know. What is that exactly?
I think that one like the Abu Dhabi Premier League
exactly.
or something.
It's like that. Yeah.
I don't think anybody watches those.
Because they're from Gulf Oil States and they're fucking stupid.
I mean, they're not barely even televised.
Honestly, Rohit Sharma is a huge Yankees fan. He'd love to play for MI New York. Who never actually played.
He wears Yankees hats a lot?
Yeah, I think he is a Yankees fan.
I think a lot of people just go to America and buy a Yankees hat.
I mean, Jaiswal wears Dodgers hats. So, clearly he knows ball.
I don't think so.
I do think so. I choose to
believe I'll ask him.
Actually, you should ask him.
When he shows up to Woodley, I'll ask him.
When he shows up to Woodley, and I can be like, yo, me and Roki Sasaki go way back.
You want to hear a fun story?
Definitely fact check that with Roki, and he'll confirm it.
You want to hear a fun story?
Yes.
So where I live in India, Shikhar Dhawan lives here as well.
What?
From this apartment complex, right?
That's so sick.
I shouldn't tell people where he lives, but you don't know where I live.
I don't know where you live.
So Shikhar Dhawan lives in the same locality as I do. Okay, and I went downstairs to the gym about a week ago, and I said I'm a huge fan. I just want to say, I've known you for a very long time, and I just want to say I'm a huge fan. He couldn't have given less of a shit. He did not care. He just wanted to get back to his workout, and he was not interested.
Damn.
He treated me like I was like a piece. Like I was just like
Well,
he was literally like, mm-hmm, uh-huh. Okay, yeah, that was it.
well, you should have supported him when he played for Punjab Kings.
I did. He was the only guy that was scoring for you guys. I loved that. That was a time period where I loved him. I mean, he showed there was a time when he was injured, his hamstring was gone
No,
as
that's
well,
true.
and he
Yeah,
kept
Wait,
batting.
he was really cooked when he was playing for us, but it was still fun to watch him play. The Australians
Fun
get his
story.
name even wronger than Rohit Sharma. So,
Chika Dawan.
oh, that you wish. Half the time it's like Danny Morrison says Shika Dawind.
Oh God. Some people say Chika Dawan, which is also bad.
That's not good. That's not correct.
Man.
It's not how you
But
say
yeah,
his name.
I'm excited to when I become a huge actor, I'm excited to tell him the story and laugh about it, and then for this
It'll
clip
be
to
funny.
resurface.
Yeah, the clip will
Yeah.
resurface. It's good that
Yeah.
it's good that it wasn't Trump in the gym because he would have been like, Shaker Dewan. I love Shaker Dewan. He's such a good player, Shaker Dewan.
You know what? Say what you want about President Trump. If he was in the gym, he would have been really nice to me, and he would have been like, "That's really nice, you know. Let's get a picture. Come on, let's get-" I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, and there's some really good reps. Those are some really good reps. That's what I told him. I went up to Nancy Pelosi. I said, "You look at those reps. They're really good reps." I was looking at those biceps. You gotta love the biceps, don't you? You gotta love the biceps.
Come, let me spot you.
They're
I got
twice
you.
as good as the Seps. I swear to God. I swear.
They're twice as good as the Seth. Okay. Seth Blatter, am I right?
Am I right?
Way to
He's
kill
worse
the
than
mood
what
on that.
comes out of my Sep bladder. Do you want to talk about the other test series?
You just immediately went to yes. let's talk about it.
Yeah, I'll cut it out like that. That's
I will just say before we move on to the Australian punching bag test series.
yeah.
I just want to say that we need to improve our selection. We need to give Washington Sundar more of a role as a bowler, and we need to again in that same vein, we need to give people specific roles. We need to use our players better. I think we have a tremendous selection problem, and the people that we do that are our regular test bowlers, test players rather, they are getting tired. They're getting exhausted. Same with the T20. We're just it's one of those things where if you keep doing the same thing like day after day after day after day, you stop getting invested in the outcome of it. You just keep doing it.
Yeah.
So
And it
that's
feels
what
like
I'd
the
say.
lineup hasn't had a shakeup in quite a while. It feels like they've been using basically the same guys for every single test series all year. For the England series, for the Australia series, for the South Africa series. Everybody, it's all the same guys. Even for, well, I guess the Asia Cup wasn't test. But
Also, Kohli needs to stop creating drama wherever he goes all the time, because there's a report coming out that he has a problem with Gautam Gambhir, and as a result, there's a strain on both him and the coach and on the team, and that this is so draining for a team to constantly have their senior most player feuding with every freaking coach that comes to play. That's why Anil Kumble was done so dirty, because he wanted to make massive overhauls of the team, and Virat Kohli was being an asshole as he always is, and he prevented that from happening. And same thing with Gautam Gambhir. Gautam Gambhir is a strong personality, as any coach should be. He shouldn't be like a Ravi Shastri who just falls asleep while his team is playing. So if Gautam Gambhir is a strong personality and you're a strong personality, how do you get those two things as a former India captain? How do you sort of come together and make it so that you're both pushing towards forward progress for the team, as opposed to dragging everybody down with your dumb feud over your ego?
yeah, it's very silly. I don't know. It's the twilight. Like, well, then again, Virat, he's a theater kid like you and I, man. And you know, us theater kids, we love our drama. We love our drama. So,
Literally.
I mean, I don't know. I also feel like it's kind of part of what makes Virat. And we're not gonna have it forever. Although I suppose he'll just become a coach and start feuding with,
I don't think so. Do you think he's gonna become a coach? Sachin never did it. I don't think
Maybe he will finally move to New York and make it on Broadway. Be the best stunt cast of all time.
I would hate I would hate that because leave
Virat
some roles for
Kohli in
that.
Chicago. You're telling me that you wouldn't go see that?
Here's the problem. I would go see that.
We would go see that together.
That's the problem.
We would probably cover the fucking premiere of that shit.
Yeah, exactly. And that is my problem. If I'm covering his premiere, who's covering my premiere? Nobody.
I am.
He's got all the
who do you think you are? I am.
Oh, all right, let's go to the. You want to talk about?
Yeah, we can talk about the England Australia Test series. Meh. Yeah, England got pasted again. They're getting even more delusional on social media. It's insane, and only some of them are joking. I'm pretty sure. Like, there's a couple of people that I know are joking, but I mean, the Jamoke level is probably getting close to exceeding that of the New York Yankees, which is frankly impressive. Because some of the crap that I saw out of the Yankees fans after they won one game of the World Series, and England hasn't even done that. They haven't even done that. Like, they've done better than Australia in a couple of sessions, and like that's about it in like the first test, and not really in the second test. So,
Ben Stokes has been like, I think he's been trying to defend how bad the series has been for them so far, but there's really no defense, you know.
I just think that I hate to say it, but there's a clip that's been sort of making the rounds of Travis Head on a podcast. It's an Australian podcast, and the podcast interviewers are like, the baseball guys say they're playing for more than cricket. They're playing for like our the spirit of the game. Like, they're innovating the game. They're changing the game. They're special. What are you guys playing for? And Travis Head just goes, cash.
Yeah.
And I think that really just illustrates the difference here.
Yeah.
In terms of how much both of these sides are living in reality.
Yeah, the English cricket team. This is the thing. They think they're the God's gift to this game. And the Australians are like, they don't even think. They just go and play and they kick ass. You know.
England is like Trump if like he'd never been president but had stayed in politics.
That's right.
Like England is like Trump if he'd had the electoral record of Hillary Clinton but had stayed in politics like more than Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, they're like the My Pillow guy of the cricketing club.
They're not as likable as Mike Lindell, okay? They're not. Mike's a great guy, okay? I don't want anybody comparing Mike Lindell to the English, okay? None of that. Now that we've ended the Ashes by talking about Mike Lindell, we are the only podcast that finishes its Ashes coverage with jokes about Mike Lindell, and that is a Bolts podcast promise. I think the last thing to talk about, at least that I have, is Women's Big Bash League. It's been a fun time. Not enough Indian players in this tournament, but we'll work on that for next year. But we got a final, and it is Perth versus Hobart.
It's actually in 3 hours.
It is in 3 hours. Damn.
2 hours.
2 hours.
Yeah.
I wish this shit weren't at 12:15, because I don't want to, like, I'm trying to have a better sleep schedule and be healthy, you know, and I can't be doing that. And, you know, the men's Big Bash is coming along, and it's going to have all the same problems.
Yeah.
So, and that starts, like, this weekend, I think. So, yeah.
You're in trouble.
I'm in trouble. Yeah, I am in trouble. I'm not going to be able to watch this, which, honestly, I get it. I mean, the men's Big Bash is nowhere near as good as the women's Big Bash. And there were a lot of women's Big Bash matches that were available that were played during the day, so it was easy to watch them at like 6 and 7 p.m. Oh my God. It's Chiefs week. They are the spawn of Satan. That is the spawn of Satan. Let's not bring it on the podcast.
You're the one who said it. I'm just completing what you started. That's another great clip.
I still got to watch, like, Mitch Owen made 100, and Mitch Owen is back with the Punjab Kings. So.
Hey, congrats.
And Glenn
guy.
isn't. And Glenn isn't. You know what? We can end with that. We can end with that.
Glenn has retired from the IPL.
Cue Tiny Dancer.
Wait, this is an incorrect categorization. He didn't retire from the IPL. He
was released, and now he's not putting himself in the auction. It's basically the same thing.
Right. Basically the same.
Wow. You're just telling me this now for the first time.
That's right.
She led an amazing life. He led an amazing life. I don't care if you agree. He led an amazing life. It's about all I have to say about it.
Glenn Bader Ginsburg.
But honestly, that's unfair to Ruth Bader Ginsburg. It really is. She achieved so much more in her life than Glenn Maxwell.
Oh yeah.
Like, she's on high being like, you're comparing me to somebody who went out ass before wicket. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So I apologize to the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg, but
You think Glenn Maxwell has made more money in his life than Ruth Bader Ginsburg did, though?
it's a good question. I don't know what her speaking fees were.
It might be comparable, especially when he was way overpaid and he way underdelivered for Punjab and for Bangalore.
Yeah, but he was still only making like $1 million for each of those IPL seasons. So he probably only made like $5 to $10 million in the IPL. How much do you think?
Yeah, you're right. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I mean, if we're just going off of you're right, because she probably had like speaking fees and she had her book and she probably optioned her life for like a documentary and some films.
Let's see.
So she probably made a lot of money.
Actually, I think that Glenn might be richer than her because Ruth Bader Ginsburg's net worth was estimated to be around 1.2 million to 1.5. Hold on, sorry. Ruth Bader Ginsburg is definitely worth more than Glenn Maxwell. But you know who else is also worth more than Glenn Maxwell?
Who?
Next week's guest, who, like Glenn Maxwell, is an all-rounder, but unlike Glenn Maxwell, is actually good at both pitching and batting. That is, of course, none other than Mr. Shohei Ohtani. So, for Ariane Ori, Dante Jackson and his heater, and everybody else associated with the NFL's 4077th team, my name is Nick Cates, and I'm saying, well,
I've got so much to say and so little time to say it. Great job, everybody. Who's got it better than us? Nobody!